Another price rise will burn a hole in the pockets of the people of Karnataka after an increase in electricity charges, a hike in excise duty on liquor, transport cess and fuel prices. Now the southern state witnesses a hike in government medical facilities. Karnataka government hospitals associated with the Bangalore Medical College and Research Institute will now face increased medical charges following a recent hike in service fees. While charges for a few services have remained the same, rates for basic services like general treatment, surgeries, blood tests, lab charges and scans have increased. However, Karnataka Health Minister Dinesh Gundu has claimed that the price hike was affordable and it was not a big issue. BJP is hit out at the Congress Sarkara in Karnataka and claimed that the poll guarantees of Congress were draining the pockets of the public. Listen in to the war of words.
ಕೆಲವು ಕಡೆ 10% 20% ಈ ತರ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಈಗ 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇರೋದನ್ನ 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಮಾಡೋದು 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇರೋದನ್ನ 50 ರೂಪಾಯಿ 40 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವಾಗಿನ ರೇಟ್ಗಳು ಏನಿತ್ತು ಇವಾಗಿನ ಒಂದು ರೇಟ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹೋಲಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಜನರಿಗೂ ಭಾರ ಅಂತ ಏನಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅದು ಹೊರೆ ಆಗದೇ ಇರುವಂತ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಅದರಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಇದೇನು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಏನು ವಿಷಯ ಏನಲ್ಲ ನಾನು
Yet another example of the Khata-Khat economics in Karnataka. Lab charges, treatment charges, diagnostic test charges have been increased by 15 to 20%. This means the common man has to suffer even more. And the common man is suffering in Karnataka ever since the Congress party government has come because Congress means loot and joot.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining us on the panel are Saeed Asad Abbas and Rishik Gowda. Tehseen and Tuin continue from debate number 1. Let me come across to you first. Rishik Gowda, your response to the particular fact that this government has increased medical prices, and of course the fact is that it will impact the poorer sections of society that depend on government health facilities. How are you looking at this? Because the Congress government says it's not a very big deal, it's just a affordable hike. Rishik Gowda.
See, first of all, the Congress government before the... Yeah, hello? Yeah, hi.
We can hear you, sir. Continue.
Okay, yeah. See, before the assembly elections, Congress government has promised, saying that, they'll be able to give you the 5 guarantees. They had no clues about how the budget going to be allocated for these 5 guarantees. Now, the issue is, it's been 18 months. In this 18 months, they came to know that they're not able to give the 5 guarantees. And if you see the total budget, 20% of the total budget has been allocated to fulfill the 5 guarantees. So now the issue is, the CM, Mr. Siddaramaiah, what he's trying to do, he's giving the targets to each ministry to do the reverse calculation and to bring in the 20% which has been giving for the 5 guarantees. If you notice, there is a price hike in electricity, there is a price hike in stamp and registration duties, there is a price hike in all the major segments under the administration of Karnataka.
Yes.
So now they've seen the price hike in the health sector as well. So Mr. Dinesh Gundu says that it's not a big deal. It's only 10 to 20%, 30% and so on. My question is, why would you even do that?
Exactly.
It's just only because you're not able to run the government.
Yeah. Let me just come in now, Mr. Gowda, because you have a very valid point over there, because there's been an increased guidance value of properties by 15 to 30%. There's been an imposed additional excise duty on Indian-made liquor by 20% and beer of 10% additional duty. Imposed 3% additional cess on newly registered transport vehicles. A lifetime tax on electric vehicles above 25 lakhs has been introduced. Movie tickets cost in Karnataka has increased with a 2% cess. What explains this repeated rising inflation? It's now appears, Tehseen, that, the cost of these guarantees was not calculated. The burden of the exchequer was not expected. And now, in every department, slowly prices are being increased over the last 6 months to a year.
Nothing can be more false propaganda than what the BJP is doing. And it is unfortunate that the BJP is retorting to this on people's health. Public health is a state good, is a national good that has to be done. So let's just do what I did and ask your viewers to look at the website, AIIMS, Safdarjung and the Karnataka Hospital. New admissions, 20 rupees AIIMS, Safdarjung 20 rupees, Karnataka has increased it from 10 to 20 rupees. Blood tests increased from 50 to 70, 17 AIIMS, about 19 Safdarjung. What are you doing? It's the same rate.
The cost of living in Delhi and Bangalore is the same. Are you seriously
no,
saying
are you telling me?
cost of living in Delhi and Bombay are the most expensive cities in the country, sir.
The cost is on par with what will happen in metro. This is a 10% increase because inflation is increase in the country. There is an inflationary cost.
I don't know the last time you visited Bangalore.
Are you telling me
cost of living, real estate, all is far lower?
Should be cheaper in Bangalore hospital, government hospital, than in a Delhi government hospital?
Well, there's something called the cost of living index. The cost of living will determine it, and if there is a
cost of living index, in
the
Delhi,
poorest of the poor are impacted. Let's remember that.
I absolutely agree with
giving a 10%
increase, which has been done by AIIMS Delhi as well.
Okay,
so
let Tuhin respond to that.
Justified for Delhi and not justified for Bangalore.
Tuhin, this is
Bangalore
not justified.
Better health than Delhi.
Let him come in. Let him come in. Tuhin, if it is acceptable in Delhi, a 20 rupee admission fee, why should it not be acceptable in Bengaluru? But the point is, it's not just about admission fee. Medical treatment, diagnostic tests are all included in this hike. Tuhin.
Which is separate in Delhi.
Madhav, it's about 100% increase. You know, for a poor person who's used to paying 10 rupees, or 20 rupees means a 100% increase, which obviously rich people like Tehseen will not be able to understand today on your show. The thing is, all Congress state governments, this is not an isolated measure they've taken. All Congress state governments have today become synonymous with financial anarchy, with financial mismanagement. You know, only some time back, the same state government of Karnataka had embezzled funds to the tune of 14,000 crore from the SC/ST funds meant for the poor. So this is not the first time they have increased the price of milk, they've increased the price of water. They have tried to impose toilet pad tax in Himachal Pradesh, which we successfully circumvented through our protests. They have, you know, the Himachal Bhavan in Himachal Pradesh is soon to be mortgaged because of their, because of the ill-equipped financial policies. So I only hope that the burden of their fiscal mismanagement does not percolate down to the poorest of the poor. That I don't think the BJP is wrong in having that expectation from the Congress party.
Yeah, and I want to bring in Syed Abbas. Syed Abbas, in fact, the larger question is, of mopping up government resources any which way. Now, what many would say, and the government is defending this, BPL cards being cancelled in Karnataka, where now you have a situation where even genuine card holders are saying that our cards are being cancelled. The government says, oh, you can reapply, we'll issue them. But the point is, why should the common man be made to go through this? The process is the punishment ultimately when it comes to such processes.
The fact of the matter, Madhav Saab, since we are discussing what has happened at the government hospitals, I have two very important quotes. One is of the medical director, Dr. Sujata Rathod, who has stated on the same front. Let me just quote her. This increase will help in the upkeep of hospitals, and the previous revision was only 5 to 6 years back. So therefore, also if I'd like to add the quote of the minister concerned, Dinesh Gundu Rao, Karnataka Health and Family Welfare, he has stated the reason being for the last 5-6 years, there has been absolutely no revision, be it Congress, JDS or alliance of BJP or any of sorts government previously. Also, it has been a routine adjustment rather than diversifying these funds onto the 5 schemes of the government. Not just that, in cases where patients are very poor and cannot afford the bills, they, as per the discretion of the director, are bound to be free. Also, let me quote the PMSSY official, Ramesh Krishna, who's the director. He said all the expenses of the BPL card holders will be covered by the government. So therefore, the BPL card holders, the below poverty line holders or the underprivileged will be covered by the government. It also, Mr. Ramesh Krishna, the BMRCI director, states that those non-BPL card holders, this has increased marginally. Dr. Sujata Rathod, who is the medical director, has also stated that this increase is not for all the tests. A few of the tests have been increased by 10 to 20%, whereas many of them continue to be free. Yes, there has been a marginal increase to keep up the quality of the hospitals, to keep up the costs and keeping inflation in mind.
But you haven't answered my question. Why are the BPL cards being cancelled, in the state? Is it just to avoid, more such freebies, more such subsidies or the subsidy burden to be brought down? Is that the deliberate intent?
Madhav Sahab, I, as a matter of fact, completely agree with you on the front that BPL cards must not be cancelled whatsoever, because those holding the BPL cards are the people who deserve it. They have their respective, ration coming in through BPL cards. The Anna Bhagya scheme is dependent on the BPL cards. If there is any form of duplication of cards or illegitimate members going it, they must be reprimanded. But this should not justify all the BPL card holders.
Let me ask Tuhin a simple question. Tuhin, it's all very well to ask questions and every state government has to be responsible. But at the end of the day, there are BJP ruled states such as the Madhya Pradesh government which are grappling with debt crisis. As of March 31st, 2024, the Madhya Pradesh government's debt stood at 3.75 lakh crores. Can the BJP really criticize the Karnataka government where there is a similar crisis that a BJP state government is facing? Tuhin.
You know, Madhav, debt will always have to be looked as a ratio of the total GDP. So if the GDP of Madhya Pradesh is also growing at a brisk rate, that is not a problem. There are, debt GDP ratio up to 80. 80% is very much permissible if you are convinced about the sources of revenue. I will give you the example of Maharashtra. In the last 6 months, we have announced social welfare schemes to the tune of 96,000 crores. But at the same time, Maharashtra continues to top the FDI with 53% of the total FDI flow to the tune of 70,000 crores coming to Maharashtra. So if you have the revenue model in place, excessive expenditure or even debts of a large degree does not matter.
Okay, but yeah, actually the debt and the growth rate of Karnataka, which we are discussing, the gross state domestic product is a growth rate of 10.2%, which is surpassing the national average of 8.2%. But I'm told there's a quick reaction coming in, once again, of the Karnataka Home Minister. Let's quickly listen into this response coming in of G. Parameshwara, who has responded, on the pushing of a 15 crore office in Mysuru while the Congress government is still in power. Listen in.
ತಲೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಡವನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಬಂದಿದೆ 15 ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಕಟ್ಟಡ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೊರಟಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಯನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಶೀಘ್ರವಾಗಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಿ ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಏನೇನು ರಾಜಕೀಯದ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಗಳು ಆಗ್ತವೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ನೀವು ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಶೀಘ್ರವಾಗಿ ಕಟ್ಟಡದ ಶಂಕುಸ್ಥಾಪನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇರುವಾಗ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಬ್ರು ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ
Tehseen Poonawalla, just a little over a year and a half after this government has come into power, why is the Home Minister pushing for the work to be completed while we are in power? The last I understood, there are over 3 years in power left. Or does Mr. Parameshwara have some other insights?
No, but I just want to make one point to your viewers, the dishonesty on your show. You specifically spoke about Madhya Pradesh, the BJP spokesperson went to Maharashtra. So just allow me to say, the Karnataka GDP is more than double that of Madhya Pradesh. Not just that, the per capita GDP of Karnataka is 3,32,926 rupees versus 1,55,585 Madhya Pradesh. But you know, because you went to Madhya Pradesh, I went to Bhopal AIIMS to check the website. You're right. Delhi could be more expensive than Bangalore. Bhopal is cheaper than Bangalore. We agree on that. Well, it's 50 rupees. It's 20 rupees for OPD. Now they do, that's okay. Hum kare to chamatkar, Congress kare to gunegar.
Quick response, Twin. Quick response.
Check the website also, sir.
Madhav, do you recall any Madhya Pradesh minister cutting a sorry figure and telling the constituents that we have no money for development for the next 5 years? Do you recall any Madhya Pradesh minister saying that?
Which minister said that?
So you can respond, Tehseen.
Which minister said that?
No, there are many people, including your own MLAs, who raise questions on local area development funds, etc.
DK Shiv Kumar said no such thing. DK Shiv Kumar has said in the context of the central government not paying enough. And let me ask you a question. The Honorable Finance Minister of India is a member of Parliament from Karnataka. How many times has she raised questions about Karnataka? How many times has she raised?
Okay,
as
gentlemen.
The Honorable Prime Minister's press
calm down.
Zero times she's raised.
Okay, we're out of time. Tuhin Sinha, Tehseen Poonawalla, Rishik Gowda, Syed Asad Abbas. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. But certainly a pattern, and this is not the first time we're talking about it. There are serious issues about resources in Karnataka. It has to be debated, and certainly we do not want to see one of our prosperous states, or one of our states that's doing well economically, to be overburdened by subsidies. There has to be a balance between growth and, of course, on development and how much is spent between the two. Ultimately, that's going to be the secret of our success. Thanks so much for joining us this evening.